Matthew Stevens, and I will be presenting my idea for a Year 4 Maths activity based around statistics, specifically focusing on data and the visual representation of data. The focus of the unit will be around statistics and data representation. Students will be expected to learn about the data and the different types of data, how we are able to collect and interpret data and make statements and conclusions. The focus of the lesson will be about data and representing data in the visual format, focusing on different types of charts, graphs, and tables and how to create them. Looking at the Australian curriculum, I believe it is important for teachers to look at the level below and the level above the expected level to be able to cater to all student needs and create content that can be differentiated for different skill sets and challenge students in different ways. However, for this lesson, it is designed for level 4 students, so focusing on data representation and interpretation, where the primary focus is on constructing suitable displays of data, given collected data samples, and evaluating the effectiveness of different data displays as shown within these two curricular links here. I've also included the Victorian curricular links, however they're practically identical, just as a guide. The learning intention for the lesson is to teach students how to construct suitable displays of data and being able to evaluate the effectiveness of different displays of illustrating data features as shown within these curriculum links. As for the success criteria, I've created a 5-star success criteria that is differentiated on its ability. So 1 star is based on level 3 of the curriculum, stars 2, 3, and 4 are based around level 4 of the curriculum, and a 5-star is based on level 5 of the curriculum. However, by the end of the lesson, all students should be able to complete it. Before the session has begun, students will already have an understanding of data as well as will have already completed a few class surveys and collected data samples, analysed data samples and learned how to create statistics from the data. Students are already aware of the difference between categorical and numerical data and are able to collect these types of data. However, have not been shown how to visually represent these data samples, which is the purpose of this lesson. The main activity for this lesson is to have students create a multimodal presentation about specific forms of data representation, such as pie charts and bar graphs. Students will be randomly allocated into groups and assigned a format of visual data representation and to inquire about, and asked to create an analysis of the visual representation, discussing the appearance, features, types of data it can represent, and any other relevant information they discover along their inquiry. Learning groups will also be expected to formulate a research question, collect data on a specific research question, represent the results of this data into their specific type of allocated graph, and present this to the class along with their presentation and analyze the data to make conclusions. The format of the lesson will begin with a hook activity with a couple of videos that can be shown later up here. Engage the students and bring them up to the key themes of the lesson, which will be followed by a mini lesson where the teachers will go through the content of the videos and of the lesson, discussing the learning intention and success criteria. Following this, students will be allocated into their groups and will have the session to begin their inquiry, prepare a presentation, and collect data on their formulated question to present. Students will then complete their presentations and teach the class about their visual representation of data format, and the class will engage in some metacognition later on to discuss what they learned throughout the lesson. For this lesson, we're going to need some resources such as a projector and whiteboard for discussions and their actual presentations, technology resources for student inquiry and to prepare their presentations and data formats, as well as some writing utensils to be able to actually collect the data samples for their writing formats. These are the expected roles for students and teachers within the lesson to assist teachers to understand the expectations for themselves as well as the class, and to give a guideline to the idea that this lesson is very student independent and is the teacher's role to assist students on their inquiry and let the students run their own lesson. When focusing on visual data, some of the common misconceptions are misleading scales when presenting data, which can make data look worse or better as shown here, as well as the misuse of area within the visual data format, which can make the data appear more significant as shown here. The way through the teacher will be addressing these misconceptions is through the use of the hook activity of the video resources, as well as through general inquiry of the specific graph. Students will be creating their own forms of visual data, which can provide the teacher with the opportunity to address issues that may appear within the creation that can lead to the misuse of space and misleading scales. Teachers can also ask questions that will reflect the understanding of the use of area and scale of their data samples. This lesson is differentiated in many forms. In the lesson, I was able to differentiate the content through providing multimodal resources within my direct teaching and within the activity, which can cater to the needs of students with learning difficulties and disabilities, and can provide students with alternatives for auditory and visual information. And I was also able to differentiate learning through the use of inquiry-based approach. An inquiry-based approach of lessons allows students to really be in charge of their own learning and be able to work at their own speed, complete their tasks within their own unique way, and work in a way that can assist their own learning style. Here are the references used. Thank you.